Chapter 8, Record Level Security. So we discuss object level security, field level security, and we know we create object fields and records in the system. So uh, these records which were created by the users in this system, those generally created by multiple users, like by multiple profiles. Those can be created by customers, waiters, or the chefs or the head chef with respect to our restaurant app. So we need to keep these kind of data secure from each other. These records from the records should be kept secure from each other's profile, such way that uh, if I want particular records should only be visible to the managers and those should not be visible to any customer or the waiter. So that kind of record level security will be achievable by record level security in the Salesforce. So how this can be achieved in the Salesforce, there are four ways. One is organization wide default, which is called OWD, then the role hierarchy, then sharing rules, and the manual sharing. So the most restrictive access is the OWD. If I want to give the most restrictive access to the default users, like all users in the system, irrespective of their profiles and the other settings in the system, then the OWD will be used. Now I want to open up more access to the users, so I'll use the rule hierarchy. I want to access I want to open more access regarding to the records in the system, then I'll use the sharing rules. If I want to give the more flexible access to the users, then I'll use the manual sharing. Let's discuss all of these steps one by one. First, the OWD. So what is OWD? Is the organization wide default, as it says. This is a default sharing setting. Default means all of the users, uh, irrespective of their profiles and other settings, will have this kind of access to the records of the system. So there are three ways or three criterias or three types are there to give OWD. One is private, other is public read write, and other is public read only. So and there are other types also, but these three are main. Let's discuss these three first. So, what exactly private means? Each user can view and edit only their own records. Access to the other records is granted through sharing rule, manual sharing, or the team membership. What does it mean is if I am the user and I am creating my one customer record, then I am the only person who can see that particular record. Not any other user or with other profile will be able to access that record if I'm keeping OWD as private. Now I'm keeping public read only. So what does it mean is all users can view all records, but only the record owner will be able to edit the record. So that is the public read only. And third is the public read write. What does it mean is all users can view and edit all of the records of that particular object. So these three are the main types or the levels of organization wide default setting in the Salesforce. How you can achieve is again you can go to setup, then administrator, security controls, and sharing settings. So this is how you can go and set up your OWD for particular objects. Second is a role hierarchy. Now I do not want it that private settings, that private security in with respect to the records of the particular object. So what I'll do, as we have already discussed the roles in the system. So roles are basically hierarchy we create. So with respect to the profiles, with respect to the roles of the users. So like we know, just suppose we have uh, set up one role hierarchy where at above level there is a CEO, then managers, then the sales team, and then at the bottom there are other service team, let's suppose. So what does it exactly mean is we already know in the when we set up the role hierarchy, so the manager or the above level hierarchy, in the hierarchy the above level people or the roles will access the all records which are generated or created by the people or the roles which are below that level. So uh, these particular role hierarchy, we it can be used for the sharing setting also. So if I'll go to the sharing setting and edit and go to the grant access using hierarchies, so and if I've set up particular hierarchy, rule hierarchy in the system, so using that hierarchy, the sharing setting or the security will be set up with respect to the records. Means again, the same on the same level, user will not be able to access each other's data, but the person, the role above one level or the two level will be of course able to access the records created by the people who are below in that hierarchy. Then there is a third way which is called the sharing rules. So using the sharing rules we can open up access more flexibly. So sharing rules are, there are two ways of sharing rules. One is the criteria based sharing rule, another one is the owner based sharing rule. What does it exactly mean is, uh, if I want to share particular records created by one owner or one user with the another user, then I can use the owner based sharing rule. If I have any criteria like customer's loyalty point is greater than 100, those records should be shared with another user or profile, then I will use the criteria based sharing rule. So this is how sharing, using sharing rule we can achieve this. You can set up the sharing rule again in the sharing setting, sharing rules, click on new and create. So this is how it will be achievable to open up more access in the system. Last is the manual sharing. So for to do the manual sharing it means I'll go to the particular record and there the share button will be visible, and if I'll click on the share, that particular record will be shared with the another user public groups or the roles. Now to do the manual sharing, the OWD should be private or the public read only, then only it is achievable. So these are the four ways we can achieve the sharing setting in the Salesforce org.